Climbing back into my Jeep, I wondered why I had landed here, in Hamburg of all places. And then I had a taste, and it made my mouth water. It brought me back 12 years to sneaking out of the schoolyard with my best friend Armin Hillman. We were an odd pair. I was the kid that lived on the Flottbecker Chaussee, a pinnacle of elegance. My father was a highly regarded lawyer, and we had two housemaids, a cook, and a nursemaid. While Armin, he lived here. His father was out of work, and like most people in this dirt poor quarter, he was a red, or an old social democrat. And that meant that he wasn't too happy that his son had become friends with a rich brat, and was even less happy that we were both for the movement. That's what the Nazis were calling themselves back then. I think most people in today's world can agree that World War II and the Holocaust were bad things, but people just don't always seem to know exactly to what extent these things happened. You see, for the Nazis, it didn't matter how Jewish you were as long as some of it traced back to you. You didn't have to practice the religion, you didn't even have to know about it. But if you were, then it was over. Today we are going to be following the story of young Daniel and Armin as they are seemingly perfect Germans, while Daniel tries to struggle with the fact that, well, he might only be Daniel, Half Human by David Chopchowitz. Oh, there's dirt in that cut. I better clean it. No, it's fine. You know, thanks for back there. Huh? Well, you know, a lot of friends would have just left. I know a lot who would have. You know, I call ours a real friendship. And that is something rare. We should seal it. Our friendship, I mean. We should, I don't know, pledge blood brotherhood. Okay, we could do that tomorrow. No, it has to be now. With that rock, that doesn't look very clean. Oh, it'll be fine. See, what we're gonna do is slit our wrists and let it bleed and put our wrists together. That way, our blood infuses. Okay? Okay. No blood. Is there anything else that could work? Oh, look at that there. You could do a fine job with that. Oh, that's really deep. You okay? Yeah. Your turn. Just don't press too deep. Duh. And should I help you? No, I got it. Okay, and now we finish. We hereby pledge blood brotherhood. We hereby pledge blood brotherhood. One day in class, the ape walked in, and we were going to be told who the Jews were on the list. He consulted his list and said, well, the Jews Cohn, Schneider, and Martini, please step forward. That didn't surprise us. We had known about them all along. Then Armin asked what I was doing after school, and I told him I was grounded, but he didn't want to leave me home alone, so he offered to come over and play Battle of the Somme with me. And then that's whenever the announcement came. President of the Reich leader von Hindenburg has ordered Adolf Hitler to be president of the Reich. And then there were flyers everywhere over the streets, and people were running. And I went up to my dad, "Hey, will you sign this? It's an HJ application. You have to sign it. All my friends are doing it. Armin too." You know, there isn't a law that says that you have to do everything that your friends do. "No, but even if you don't sign it, I'll do it anyway. I'll do it without you." Well, you see, I certainly will not sign that. And maybe now you'll understand why. You see, Daniel, your grandparents, who you barely knew, were Jewish. Which makes your mother Jewish, which makes you half Jewish. So even if I sign that, you will not be able to join the HJ. Me? Non-Aryan? I went to my room and laid in my bed and listened to my mother cry. Cry all you want. It's all your fault. You're a Jewess. And this mischief that you say is caused by the Nazis, it won't be over soon. One day at soccer practice, Jurgen threw himself on top of me, and he just started beating me over and over and over with his fists. And Armin and Klaus together had to work hard to get him off of me. And whenever he got off of me, he asked them if they were just defending the Jew swine. And Armin stood up to him. But Armin didn't know the truth. "Daniel, why are you just standing there? Why aren't you saying anything? Daniel, say something. Why aren't you saying anything? Daniel, because it's true. I'm half Jewish." Back in current time, I listened to what my new assignment was, got out of the Jeep at the new camp, and walked in to see rows upon rows of German soldiers in tattered uniforms. And I was told that my briefing told me that was 15 minutes, that I would be assigned to a desk where I would interview German soldiers to find out if they were members of the SS or the Nazi Party. My first soldier walked up to me, and I asked him the prescribed questions. What unit were you in? Were you a member of the SS? Were you a member of the Nazi Party? If they answered no to the last two questions, then they were free to go, they were free men, and they were paid 40 mark. But it's not as simple as it seems, because a lot of them would just say no, they weren't. So I was taught how to pick up on certain behaviors that gave away that they were lying. And while I was interviewing a cadet, I heard a familiar voice from the desk right next to mine. I looked, and more by his voice than by his features, I recognized him immediately. He hadn't shaven in a while, and he was deeply tanned, but that voice. He looked at me, and he looked astonished, and then a smile jumped across his face as he recognized me. And again, even though his features still seemed weird and strange, his gestures now confirmed it. I struggled to contain the surge of joy that went through me, and I got up and went over to him. On the sheet in front of me, it said name, Armin Hillman. Unit number 118, section number 4. SS member, no. But you wanted to join the SS. Would they not take you? No. I could just feel that he was lying to me. I unbuttoned his shirt and pulled out his right arm, looking for where the SS tattoo would be on his upper arm. But where it should have been, there was just a scab. Look, I don't know you. To me, you're just any German soldier who scraped off his tattoo with a sharp knife. Now, I went over to him and I marked out the no on the SS membership sheet and the no on the Nazi Party sheet and wrote yes. Then I walked back over to my cadet and sat down and said, "Where were we?"